Oh, what a big yawn already. That was a weak Ric Flair to start it off, everybody. Welcome to the Monday morning edition of the Off Base Podcast. The podcast carefully crafted to remind you to suck a fat one. If you are so arrogant that you think you're the only one, you're not. I'm your host. I'm the Rocky Mountain no-name Jackass. And it's 37 degrees in the city of Aurora at 7:51 in the AM on Monday, April 11th, 2022. Hey now. All right. Let's get the H out of here, people. The reason why the tribute to Ric Flair was so weak this morning is because I took a fucking nap yesterday at about 2 o'clock. So, I didn't sleep well Saturday into Sunday. By the way, we did have a great weekend. It was really nice. My wife, who just finished traveling last week and will be traveling again next week, finally had some time to just chill with us at home, which we took advantage of on both Friday and Saturday night. Friday night, I made a lovely cacio de pepe, which is basically just pasta with Parmesan cheese. But I also put truffle butter in it. So it was pasta, Parmesan and truffle butter. And as soon as the pasta is done cooking, you throw it all in a bowl and mix it up, and the pasta will melt the cheese and the truffle butter, and it's fucking fantastic. And then we just had that with steaks over the top. My wife and I had filet mignons, which we can get very nicely at the commissary for $12 a pound. And then the children had, I made them a ribeye, I think, for theirs. And we had some nice wine to go with it. It was a great fucking meal. And then we watched the next James Bond? No, we did that on Saturday night. Saturday. What the hell did I make on Saturday? Can't even fucking remember. It was yummy, whatever the hell it was. But we watched so we sat down to watch the Bond movie. And it was going to end at about 10 o'clock, but I fucking fell asleep before it ended. And when that happens to me, folks, where I am most effective in my sleep, and I have been talking a lot about sleep for the last 3-4 months, because I really, really want to improve my sleep patterns. What works best for me is when I fall asleep to stay asleep. But if I fall asleep during a movie late night, then I'm going to have trouble sleeping because I will have gone to sleep, wake up, and then try to fall back asleep again. And it sucked. And Saturday into Sunday, I must have woken up 5 or 6 different times. Movie ended and it was 10 o'clock, so I was like, fuck this, I'm going right to bed. Went to bed. Waking up 5-6 different times, so I was like, fuck this. So finally, I think it was 3:30 or 4 in the morning, I just got up. I couldn't hack it anymore, dude. So I got shitty sleep from Saturday going into Sunday, and as a result, I took a fucking nap at about 2 o'clock, which made matters worse for me last night. And what was funny is up until that point, up until I took that nap, I was actually feeling pretty good. After I took the nap and woke up, I was like groggy and shit. It was weird. And it was kind of lethargic for the next 3 hours or so. But then all of a sudden I got my legs and was far too alert for the remainder of the evening, such that when I laid down to go to sleep last night, I couldn't fucking fall asleep. My brain was too alert. I couldn't shut it off. It sucked. And as a result, I stayed up on my computer watching YouTube videos. Didn't finally go back to bed until around 2. So I only got about 3.5 hours of sleep, which is horrible. And I'm not happy with myself about that. It was a dumbass fucking move. So now I got to get back into the swing of things, man. Because I had hit an achievement that I hadn't hit in a long time, which is getting a full 8 hours of sleep during a weeknight. It was so awesome. And I slept good Friday going into Saturday, too. Anyway. That must get corrected. Must get corrected. It was so funny, too, because I was thinking of taking one of my wife's sleeping pills to help me out last night. And I should have fucking done it. The only reason why I didn't was because I wanted it to happen naturally. I didn't want to artificially induce sleep, but I guess sometimes you got to, man, just to get back on that schedule of going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. Going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. I got to get that regularity, man. Because I'm going to get through the day today, but I'm going to be less than what I could be. Which fucking blows. Usually don't need my glasses on the way home. Anyway, here we are, April 11th, second full week of May. My wife and I will be submitting taxes as soon as we have enough money in our checking account to cover the tax bill. She's transferring some cashish on over. Once the cash is present in the account, I will hit the button. So we got that going on. Got some work projects that I'm on. Another big yawn. That are coming along nicely as well. What else? We got the workout stuff going on. I'm really happy with the amount of cardio that I'm starting to incorporate into my workouts. We're still in phase 3, but I'm kind of at the point where, all right, I want to start shaving stuff down. So I'm actually starting to incorporate more cardio now, so that when it becomes full on cardio, probably 5 days a week in phase 4, I'm going to be ready for it. My body's going to be ready for it. And I'm telling you, man, fucking Paul Ravella, prophysique.com. I'm going to be sticking with his suggestion all the way through until July, which is making use of the incline buttons on the treadmill. I was doing 2-mile walks at 3 miles per hour, which might sound pretty slow, but when you're doing it at a 10% incline, that's fucking work. And it burns about, at least what my treadmill says, about 400 calories, which is fucking awesome. 40 minutes walking 2 miles, burning about 400 calories. That's great. That's what someone at my age needs. Don't get me wrong, people. I fucking love the high-intensity workouts of Shaun T's Insanity and the Asylum, and some of the P90Xs to some extent. But at 47, I don't have the joint support for that shit anymore. I wake up, my joints are fucking, I can feel terrible. But if I just get a walk in, I got a little bit of muscle soreness the next day, but it is highly manageable. Highly manageable. And since I hate running, the walking on an incline is actually starting to help my running. Over the weekend, I did a Murph workout, a modified Murph workout. So the full Murph workout is to run a mile, do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then run another mile. Well, the one that I did over the weekend was to run 4/10 of a mile, and then to do 16, 32, 48. So 16 pull-ups, 32 push-ups, 48 air squats, then run another quarter of a mile until I reach 2 miles. So that by the end, it's 80 pull-ups, 160 push-ups, 240 squats. And I ran at roughly, as I usually run at a slower pace when I do a Murph because you're doing so many air squats. So your legs are getting fucking blasted in all kinds of different ways. So I run that one at a slower pace, but the slower pace that I was running at wasn't fatiguing. Like I wasn't sitting there huffing and puffing like a fucking out of shape jackass. So the walks were actually helping the runs. And we're definitely going to see how that's going to impact the Air Force fitness test. Stepson and I have an Air Force fitness test coming up on Saturday. And we're going to be going to the gym today. We're doing the legs. We didn't get a chance to do them over the weekend. We had a lot going on. And then on Thursday, we'll do the Insanity Fit test and see how that's coming along for us. And then we'll jump into our final round of phase 3, where I'm looking forward to deadlifting 225. That'll be a wonderful milestone. Hopefully bench pressing around 200 and squatting over 200. We shall see how it goes. Those are my goals. But in the meantime, the diet's also coming along nicely as well. I'm starting to get my body used to fewer calories. And it's funny too, as far as alcohol goes. When my wife came back, she came back on Thursday. We drank Thursday night. We drank Friday night. And we drank Saturday night. But it wasn't a lot. Only Thursday night I think I drank the most. Although, wait, no, Saturday. Yeah, because I just got done doing that Murph. I probably burned 600, 700 calories doing that Murph. It was an hour-long workout. And she and I had 3 New Mexican gypsies and then a glass of wine with dinner. Oh yeah, we drank white wine. So what the hell did we have? What the hell did I make on Saturday? Oh my God. What the fuck? I can't remember. Oh, for God's sakes. Was it pork? Oh yeah, I made this fucking awesome pork sandwich that we do with garlic mayonnaise, arugula, and pickled red onions. The recipe that I used to use for it was on Bon Appetit's website, but I think they changed the link because I distinctly remember using crushed up juniper berries for the rub on pork. And their new recipe didn't have it on there, so I just kind of made one up. I did salt, pepper, garlic, and rosemary. So it's a rosemary garlic rub, and it certainly impacted the flavor of the pork. Anyway, I'm starting to get a little bit hungry now, which is good. So yeah. Once phase 4 hits, that's when I'm really going to have to push through hunger pangs. Oh, back to alcohol. Sorry. So last night when we sat down for dinner, I had at that point only consumed, I think, like 1,100 calories, and then tagged on another 500-600 with my dinner. And I didn't drink it all. And my wife was saying while I was preparing dinner, she was like, "You want me to make you a mule?" And I was like, "No, I'm good." I said, "It's funny. When you were out of town, I only drank 2 days out of the 10 that you were out of town. That was on the weekend." And I said to her, when you are not here, I said, and this is nothing against you, and you have to, phrase these things for women so that you don't hurt their feelings. Because as men, we don't know how best to communicate with women because we are wired differently. There are different chemicals going on around there. So I didn't want to say something that made her feel blamed or attacked. I said, when you are not around, I don't have the inclination to drink as much. I said, when you are around, you're home, you get a chance to chill out with your family, and I want you to have a good time, so I'll, join you in a libation of sorts. But last night I didn't want to do that because I had developed such a nice momentum while she was away. Now, I did end up sharing an ounce of Texas whiskey with her. And the TX whiskey is so fucking delicious. It's got a vanilla after flavor to it. If anybody out there has tried it, it's awesome. My man Joe Bellino, who's from originally Scranton, Pennsylvania, but by way of Houston, he and his lady are from Houston. Met Joe in Florida. He turned me on to TX whiskey. It's very good. And it was only an ounce. I measured it out too with the jigger. And we watched Death on the Nile with Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot. I don't know how to say it. It's a French name. He's a French detective in Agatha Christie novels. Murder on the Orient Express is I think the first in the series, and then Death on the Nile was the one we watched last time. It's pretty good. Love a good murder mystery. I think Kenneth Branagh overdid it a little bit with the acting, but he also directed it, so he got to pick the shots with the editors. And he also directed himself. So he was a little overboard with it. Normally he's not. He's one of the best actors out there. And also he directed Thor, the original Thor, which I thought he did a masterful job. Not only with the shots, which I'll get back to in a second, but the script was phenomenal. Because the whole movie, you're just waiting for Thor to get his hammer back, and the way in which he filmed the moment where Thor catches that hammer. He didn't just have the camera on Thor the whole time. He had the camera on everybody who was surrounding Thor and how happy they were to see him get that hammer back. And as an audience member, you're like, yeah! You're just sharing in the happiness. It was thrilling. And it's still my favorite Marvel movie because of that scene. I screamed in the theater when it happened. I was like, yeah! Ah! Go, Thor, go! Go, Thor, go! It's fucking awesome. So anyway, I do enjoy Kenneth Branagh's work. So anyway, here we go. Back at it. Keeping the diet strong. Gotta work on the fucking sleep. Stepson and I hitting the gym for legs tonight. So I got that going for me, which is nice. That's right, Bill Murray, Caddyshack, when he's asked about telling the story about the Dalai Lama. On your deathbed, you will, receive or achieve? Receive total consciousness. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Even though I don't like Bill Murray. I talked about this before on the podcast. I'm not going to talk about it again. My 2 podcast listeners have heard me talk about this too much. For those of you who haven't, go check out the archives. Anyway, here we are back on base. No line to get back on base this morning, people. Look at this. There's a guy coming through on a bike. Oh, stepson was cracking me up this morning because on Wednesday he's got early dismissal. They're taking the PSATs. He's a sophomore. Hang on, I'm gonna get scanned. Morning. Thank you. So he's had a couple days where he's had early release, and for me to go and get him, come back home, and then go back again and get his brother and sister is not economical in the least, because it's a half hour both ways. And I had said to him last week, I said, well, can you go to your girlfriend's house? Because she lives relatively close to school, probably a mile away. He's like, yeah, I'll check with her. So I was asking him this morning, so can you do it? And he was like, nah, because she's going to someplace else, so she's not going to be available. She's going to be busy. I say, well, you're going to have a nice afternoon in King Soopers. King Soopers is the grocery store that he and his sister wait in. There's a Starbucks in there, and they wait inside there until I come pick them up. I said, you're going to have a nice afternoon at King Soopers. Unless, of course, you want to walk home. There's Denver. Nice shot this morning. Looking good. And he actually went on his phone and typed it in, did a map on it. And according to the map, it would take him 4 hours to walk home. Which by the time he actually got home is when I'd be leaving to go pick up the other two. So, because I think he's done at 12:30, and if he gets home at roughly 4:30, 4 o'clock, that's when I typically leave. It's so funny. And right now, my wife and I would not have it any other way. Her being a colonel, she actually has a little bit of special dispensation to send the kids to schools that are not on base and not in our district. So the fact that we're able to send them to the schools that they're going to is pretty goddamn good, because they are really good schools with facilities out the yin-yang. I remember when we went to his, it wasn't really an orientation because he was a sophomore, but you know what I mean. When we first moved here, we were taking the tour of the school, and we got done, and I turned to my wife, and I was like, I want to go back to high school. Just to go and take advantage of all these opportunities that are here. Now, we're hoping that he does more and more. He and his sister, god damn, they spend too much time in the house. It's like, where are your fucking friends? Talk to them, set something up where you guys can go meet, hang out. And we understand that we live on base and it's further away, so it's tough to meet up with their friends, but it's like, come on, man, get out of the house. He spends way too much time playing video games, especially on the weekend. He'll be cutting that down as soon as he has the ability to get a job. There's plenty of different jobs that he can do. He can do fast food. He can get a waitering job. He can do, what is it? Not Grubhub. What's the app where you can deliver food or groceries or whatnot? That's a good one too for young kids to get on. Anyway, we're far enough into base here that I can close things down for right now, because now I'm just rambling. I appreciate everybody listening. I didn't have much to really talk about today, anything profound. But all that being said, people, I'm going to wish you a great Monday. Wish me good sleep tonight, because I'm going to fucking need it. I loved getting that 8 hours last week. It was so invigorating. But anyway, yeah. Have a great Monday, and I'll smell you tomorrow.